A Tecumseh native has punched his ticket to the 2020 Olympics in Japan. Jordie Steen qualified for the 2020 Olympics in wrestling at the Pan Am Qualifying Championships in Ottawa this past weekend. After surrendering the first 2 points, Steen scored 13 unanswered points to win his 97-kilogram semifinal by technical superiority over Luis Miguel Perez Sosa of the Dominican Republic by a score of 13-2. The tournament was held without spectators inside the competition venue to reduce the risk of the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Steen, 28, used his signature ankle lace attack to storm back to win. It's hard to imagine. I kept trying to do it one step at a time, one match at a time, one takedown at a time. I'm so happy, said Steen, who trains at the Montreal Wrestling Club. It doesn't even feel real. It's been unreal. I don't want to sugarcoat it. Getting to the Olympics is a tough, tough road, but it makes me feel so good when you finally make it happen. As of right now, the 2020 Olympics in Japan are scheduled as normal to take place between July 24th and August 9th, but we will pay attention as further developments arise. Unfortunately, the OFSAA Hockey Tournament that was supposed to take place next week has been canceled. And here to talk to us about the disappointment in that event being canceled is the OFSAA Hockey convener, John Tallarico. Thank you very much for joining us, John. Obviously, this is a disappointing time, but could you give us maybe the timeline of how things developed over the past week where it led to the tournament being canceled?
Thursday, the government announced that all schools would be shut down until April 6th. Mm-hmm. Shortly after, I had a feeling that this didn't bode well for our tournament. And around 6:30 p.m., I received word from our OFSAA coordinator that the tournament was canceled indefinitely.
So this is important to know because it wasn't Hockey Canada specifically that shut down the tournament. This was the OFSAA board that made this decision. The schools are closed. The tournament wasn't supposed to be until next week, but they decided, hey, let's cut it off here and let's keep our players safe. That's the justification there?
That's correct. OFSAA governs the high school athletics within Ontario, and their executive council made this decision based on the parameters and the health and safety of the student athletes. It was unfortunate, it was tough, but that timeline was about 6:30 on Thursday, and then the official word came at 11 a.m. on that Friday.
Many meetings, many hours. Do you feel disappointed yourself for all the work that you've put into it?
There's some disappointment. Like I said, you feel for the student athlete. It wasn't just the athletes. We had leadership classes who were integrated in different roles. Hosts, the internet updates. And they had a crucial part, and they were disappointed as well. So seeing kids come up to me in the hall, asking if it was canceled. There's disappointment on that end, but you have to look at the big picture. This is uncharted waters. You have to do what's best for our health. And if in 2 to 3 months, we say, who knows if it was overkill? We have no idea. So at this point, all we can do is take advice from the professionals and go from there.
Joining me in studio today is the Prospect Fighting Championship Flyweight champion from Windsor, Tony Laramie, who just won the belt last weekend in a big win over Claudio Ledesma. Tony, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having me today, Brett.
Talk to us about the hype going into this fight. You're the main event, and you're the guy representing PFC as kind of the homegrown talent, taking on Claudio Ledesma. Talk to us about the hype, maybe a little bit of the anxiousness going into that fight. What was your mindset like?
Yeah, I was pretty motivated. I was on the edge of my seat because he's a top level guy. You know what I mean? All of my other fights, sure, I fought people that were good, but they didn't have the best record. You know what I mean? They're all positive wins to losses and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? They just didn't have that many fights. That person had 4 times the amount of fights as me. Wow. He was 16-8. And this fight for me was pretty much to show if I actually was top level or not. You know what I mean? And then I showed up and I beat him. I think 4 out of the 5 rounds. 2 judges gave him 2 rounds, and so 48-47, and then 1 judge gave me 49-46. So I did pretty good.
Absolutely. What did it feel like to have your arm raised in that moment and get that strap on your shoulder?
I was just happy to win, happy to finally know that where I'm at in the sport, I'm top level,
What's 2020 looking like for Tony Laramie? What's a picture perfect year for you right now in your career? What's the best case scenario for you?
July, I should probably be defending this actually in Windsor.
Okay.
So at the St. Denis Scanner, I think. And then after that fight, I think maybe 1 or 2 more. And hopefully by then I'll be in the UFC. That's what I'm looking at.
This week's TSS Spotlight is shining on Jordie Steen of Tecumseh, who who qualified for the 2020 Olympics in Japan. In wrestling, congratulations, Jordie, and best of luck in Tokyo this summer.